So you're a solopreneur. You're out there hustling, managing everything yourself. Clients, projects, you name it. But what about cybersecurity? I know. Most folks in your shoes think, I'm too small to be a target. But that's a really dangerous assumption. In this explainer, we're going to break down why you're actually a huge target and give you the essential first steps to protect not just your business, but your clients too.
All right, let's just get right into the most important idea you need to grasp. When you look at your business, you see a one-person shop. But an attacker, they see a master key. Seriously, they don't see a small business. They see a single, super efficient way to unlock the doors to 10, maybe 20 other businesses. All of your clients. It's your access they're after.
So, that leads to a pretty important question, right? If you're not the main prize, then what is?
It all comes down to your access. To really get this, you've got to try and think like an attacker. Trust me, they don't care about your personal photos or your business plan. They care about the value you control for other people.
So when we talk about the asset, we're not talking about your laptop or the money in your bank account. The real asset, the digital gold they're digging for, is the privileged access you have. It's the keys to your client's social media, their ad platforms, their billing systems. That's what they want.
Okay, but why is that access so valuable? Well, let's break it down into what the source material calls the 4 pillars of access. This is the stuff that makes you an absolute prime target.
This right here is basically the attacker's playbook. They go after these 4 pillars because if they can knock one over, the rest can come crashing down. First, there's client communication. They get into your email so they can pretend to be you. Then, brand control. They take over a client's social media or ad accounts. That leads to financial access, because what's attached to that ad account? Your client's credit card. And finally, system access. Your email is the master key that can reset every other password. It's a total domino effect.
And this is exactly why it's so efficient for them. I mean, think about it. Why would they bother attacking 12 different companies when they can just attack one professional, you, and get the keys to all 12 at once? You are an incredible return on their investment.
So, we've established why you're a target. Now let's talk about what actually happens when that access gets compromised. And this isn't some theoretical what-if scenario. This is a potential business-ending crisis.
When a breach hits, the damage usually comes in 3 ways. First, you've got the immediate theft of money. Then comes the total chaos of hijacked accounts. And finally, the thing that can be the hardest to ever come back from, the long-term damage to your reputation.
The most common way this all starts is right here, with your email. An attacker gets into your inbox. They don't do anything at first. They just sit there, silently reading your conversations. Then, right when a client is expecting an invoice from you, they send one from your account, but with their bank details. And just like that, your client's money is gone, and their trust in you is completely shattered.
Or how about this one, the account takeover? Can you imagine waking up one morning to find out your client's entire monthly ad budget was spent overnight on a bunch of bogus campaigns? That's exactly what happens when their accounts are hijacked through your access. It's a huge financial hit and a full-blown crisis you have to manage with a very unhappy client.
And all of this, of course, leads to the most painful consequence of all. Your reputation is ruined. Because let's be honest, at the end of the day, your clients don't really care how it happened or whose fault it was. All they know is that it happened on your watch. Suddenly, those great relationships get tense, contracts are up for review, and that trust you worked so hard to build, it's just gone.
Okay, I know this all sounds pretty grim, but this is the crucial turning point. The goal here is not to build some kind of impenetrable digital fortress. That's just impossible. The real goal is something way more practical, something you can actually achieve: resilience.
Just let that sink in for a second. It's not about stopping every single attack. It's about limiting the damage. The only difference between a business that recovers and one that goes under is being prepared.
So, we're not aiming for perfection. Perfection is brittle, it shatters. We're aiming for resilience. That means when something bad does happen, and it might, you're ready to act. You've got a plan to contain the mess, protect your clients, and get back to business without completely freaking out.
All right, so how do we actually build that resilience? Let's talk about your path to protection. And the good news is, it starts with some really simple, totally accessible first steps that you can and absolutely should do today.
This is what we'll call level 1, the absolute foundation. And guess what? It costs $0. First, turn on multi-factor authentication everywhere, especially on your email. This one thing stops most automated attacks cold. Second,
Please stop reusing passwords. Get a password manager and create unique, strong passwords for every single site. Third, this is just a simple habit. Lock your laptop and phone when you get up. And fourth, and this is so important, write a simple one-page plan. Just answer the question, if an account gets hacked, what are the first 3 things I'm going to do? That simple exercise turns blind panic into a clear-headed response.
These 4 steps are the bare minimum. They are the non-negotiables. They're the foundation of a clear path forward, a path that builds real professional resilience and, most importantly, protects that trust you've worked so hard for.
And really, that's what this all boils down to. This isn't just a tech issue. It's about professionalism. If your job involves managing client accounts or handling their data, then protecting that access isn't some extra thing you do. It's a fundamental part of your job description. It's a core piece of the expertise and trust that you're selling.
So let's end with this. The question is no longer if you're a target. You are. The real question you have to ask yourself is this: are you taking the steps you need to take to be the trusted, prepared, and resilient professional your clients are paying you to be?